Accused of extramarital affairs.
As I said, we live, we aspire, we learn, and we strive to perfection, but rarely gets there.
What was the follow-up from your wife?
Oh, Lord. You go too far, though. You go too far.
Up first this evening, none of your business. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton shuts down question from journalists on his marital affairs. Now, there have been a series of viral posts on social media this week about deeply personal allegations involving the health minister.
You were saying a while ago, Minister Tufton, that you really, appreciate the work that Market Me does and did. I think the question that Edmund wanted to ask was maybe not answered thoroughly. So I would just want to ask it more directly. Did you cheat on your wife with any of the prince?
No, Minister.
Hold on. No, let me answer.
Minister.
Let me respond. First of all, that's none of your business. And I would prefer you stick to questions around the operations of the ministry. And just as I leave you to your private life, I'd like you to allow me mine. Thank you very much.
In the meantime, vile, filthy and scandalous, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton is dismissing innuendos circulating on social media as mere attempts to tarnish his good name. Dr. Tufton says his attorneys are exploring all legal options to prosecute those behind the posts, who he described as cyber criminals. Giovanni Dennis has the details.
The name Tufton has been trending all week on Twitter, but it's not only been about issues under his ministerial portfolio in health. The health minister's name has been entangled in a series of viral social media posts, much of which are deeply personal. Today, he responded with a 157-word statement. He described as vile, filthy and scandalous allegations and innuendos on social media aimed at besmirching and tainting what he described as his good name and reputation. He further charged these disgusting, vicious and false attributions made under the cover of social media have caused great pain and suffering and are clearly aimed at damaging my career as well as causing emotional distress. He revealed that the matter has been reported to the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Division (CTOC) of the police.
Accused of extramarital affairs.
As I said, we live, we aspire, we learn, and we strive to perfection, but rarely gets there.
What was the follow-up from your wife?
Oh, Lord. You go too far, though. You go too far.
A damning report from the Integrity Commission has cast a shadow over the Ministry of Health and Wellness, raising serious questions about transparency, accountability, and the handling of key government contracts. The report, which investigated incidents that happened between 2016 and 2020, was tabled in Parliament on Tuesday, uncovering procurement irregularities and potential conflict of interest in relation to millions of dollars worth of contracts from the ministry to marketing firm Market Me. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton and co-managing director of Market Me, Lindsay McDonough, according to the commission, are believed to be friends and didn't disclose their friendship when the company received the contracts.
The Integrity Commission's report comes nearly 5 years after its probe into alleged conflicts of interest involving the Ministry of Health, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, and the public relations firm Market Me. The Director of Investigation found that 15 contracts valued at $78.6 million were awarded to Market Me during the review period, 14 by the Health Ministry, and 1 by the National Family Planning Board using the direct contracting procurement method. The report concludes that the use of direct contracting breached the Ministry of Finance's guidelines, which limit this method to contracts valued below $1.5 million. The Commission also raised concerns about an unsolicited proposal submitted by Market Me in 2016 for the Jamaica Moves campaign. The report found that the ministry did not conduct due diligence to verify the proposal's merit, nor did it engage in a competitive bidding process.
While it was critical of aspects of the administration of the process directed at the ministry, there is nothing in the report to suggest anything untoward. So from that standpoint, I think it represents vindication. My only regret that it has taken so long, and that along the way, a number of persons and entities, including the ministry, would or may have suffered some reputational damage and concern.
The Director of Investigation found no direct evidence that the Health Minister participated in the award of contracts. However, it concluded that his introduction of Market Me and friendship with its co-managing director, Lindsay McDonough, created a perceived conflict of interest. The Integrity Commission has recommended that the ministry strengthen procurement planning, avoid the misuse of direct contracting, and cease awarding contracts based on unsolicited proposals without proper vetting. But for Dr. Tufton,
I will accept it for what it has concluded fundamentally. If there are areas to learn from, then we have to learn from it and move forward. But fundamentally, the work was about the work of the Ministry of Health, and that was done with all sincerity to get the maximum and best impact for programs, and in particular the programs around lifestyle diseases.
the Director of Investigations has also referred the matter to the House Speaker. As to what action the House Speaker will take, it's left to be seen how that will unfold.
I'll work with the Speaker. What is important is that it has found no evidence of pursuing the matter beyond having a discussion with the Speaker. And I will yield to the Speaker's judgment and have a conversation with her.
Jeanette Calder, thank you both so much. We appreciate it. And Jeanette, let me start with you. The minister said there was nothing untoward, and he said the report, in fact, represents vindication. There were concerns that were raised by the Director of Investigation, though.
Definitely very serious concerns that I would say just outright, Dion, if I even just quote the report, were violations of the law, and not just law, but also policy and financial regulations, the Integrity Commissions Act. For example, both the Integrity Commissions Act and the Public Procurement Act required, in this case, the minister and Lindsay McDonough to have indicated that there was a friendship. This is just the kind of public disclosure that you make. But a simple reason, Dion, that it signals to those who are dealing with the procurement process that if there's additional scrutiny that is necessary, they can apply it. And that wasn't done. That's a breach of law. There's also the issue of the direct contracting, unsolicited proposals. The Public Procurement Act, Dion, is very clear. If you get an unsolicited proposal, meaning that the minister, or the ministry rather, did not actually invite any kind of private entities to provide a service, but they were approached by a business or a company and said, hey, we think this would do the ministry some good, that is allowed under the law. But there's a very clear process and the steps that are in place, Dion, to protect the public's money and to ensure that if we're only dealing with one entity, we still get value for money in the absence of competition. Those were not followed. There are concerns about what we call contract splintering, where we have several contracts on one given day, same date, same kind of services, and the whole idea and the concerns why the Act asks public procurement officials to look out for this kind of thing as a red flag is that there are thresholds, Dion, that if you're over $1.5 million, it moves from just within the department and other persons have to get involved in authorizing it. So sometimes if there is something that I would say malfeasance or corruption, you keep it under the $1.5 million so that there are limited persons scrutinizing and asking questions. So we're talking about several pieces of legislations that were violated. Just to close off on the preliminary comment, Dion, I did see the minister's press release. I did hear about the ministry's release. The ministry says there was no malfeasance. I had to look up the word. It means no wrongdoing. Now, if you are violating laws and regulations and the ministry doesn't see that as a wrongdoing, the public has reason to be concerned. And if the minister doesn't see violations of public procurement laws that safeguard and protect our assets and funds as illegality, then we really have to have a serious conversation with who the minister reports to.
Accused of extramarital affair.
As I said, we live, we aspire, we learn. And we strive to perfection, but rarely gets there.
What was the follow from your wife?
Oh, Lord. You go too far, though. You go too far.